Wake up, somnolent, visionless leaders. Reset brains of Ojelu. Plant, people, plant. Òjò máa rọ̀, òjò máa rọ̀, ìtura ló jẹ́. Òjò máa rọ̀, òjò máa rọ̀, ìtura ló jẹ́. Cassava, maize, groundnuts, cocoa, palm oil, cashew, rubber, sorghum, cowpea. Òjò máa rọ̀, òjò máa rọ̀, ìtura ló jẹ́. Òjò máa rọ̀, òjò máa rọ̀, ìtura ló jẹ́.
Welcome to another inspiring edition of Voices of African Literature, where we explore the minds behind the story shaping our culture, thought, and future. I'm Matthew Simpa, and today we sit down with Dare Folarin, an exceptional member of the Association of Nigerian Authors, a voice that resonates far beyond the page. Besides being the Public Relations Officer of the Association of Nigerian Authors, Ogun State Chapter, he's a journalist, a publisher, public relations guru, a former press officer to a state governor, and a minister of the gospel. Whether through academia, media, or public relations, our guest brings a unique lens to Nigerian storytelling. Let's uncover the journey behind the words. You're welcome to Voices of African Literature. Right now, we delve into the questions. Can you tell us what inspired you to become a writer? Was there a defining moment?
For me, journalism is my first love, because of the love for journalism. And, as a journalist, you have to love writing. As a matter of fact, journalists are chroniclers of history in a hurry. We write history in a hurry. And with that, I also studied English at the university. So exposure to literature, exposure to African literature, Chinese, Caribbean, Indian, and all these gamuts, this genre of literature fired my, interest in writing. And, so we went from, reading to now writing. I first experimented with poetry, that is the first core, the first area of interest is usually poetry. And, when you now put down your emotions, in school then, those days, we will write. In fact, we were advised to have an exercise book. You write your poems, and we had advisors. I was privileged and lucky to have two of my teachers, Professor Niyi Oshundari and Professor Remi Oriaku, who took interest in me. So they were helping me. I would write and take to them. They would look at it, correct, give advice, and everything. So this was how I was writing poems, and, the exposure to various gamut of poetry, short stories, novels, novellas, autobiographies, and everything, fired my interest.
Now, what are your areas of interest?
And as a journalist too, like I said, we write history in a hurry, and I took interest in the environment. I carried out environmental scanning. And once you carry out environmental scanning, with journalism comes naturally activism. You take interest in human rights issues, you take interest in issues of environment. You want to safeguard the environment, make sure that the environment is conducive and healthy, because it is man that has been causing problem to the environment. The problem we have with the ozone layer and stuff. So you carry out enlightenment. And as a broadcaster, I took it upon myself to always educate the citizens at every opportunity that I have, to always educate the citizens, tell citizens about their, rights, let them know their rights, let them know what they should do to contribute to add value to the society, to make the society a better place for each other. Let them know what to do to safeguard the society and safeguard the environment. The mantra: if you see something, you say something. So this has been helping. So you flag issues to government, and then from government you feed the people with what government is doing. This dovetails with the mission of Radio Nigeria, yes, uplifting the people and uniting the nation. So that's basically what we've been doing in our writing.
You're a man of many quotes. What has been the trajectory of your career?
Well, over the years, I stopped writing, but I was now more involved in writing of news, articles, reviews of literature books and everything. For years, I was doing that. I was also privileged to publish a newspaper for years, for like 9 years. I was publishing as managing editor and editor-in-chief, as editor-in-chief and managing director. That was a newspaper that was very popular in the States called the Gateway Mirror. After that, I've also, for a year, edited the Nigerian Gateway, which was also a newspaper that was published from January to December 2022. That's also, after that done, I also edit a public relations magazine, PR Primus magazine. I edit it. And I've also done a lot of write-ups, advocacy, and everything. And as a co-host on radio, Citizens Forum on Rock City FM 109, 101.9 Abeokuta, which has been a win-win.
That's good. What's the duty of a writer in your own estimation?
The writer is the conscience of the society. The writer is a teacher of sorts. The writer is a chronicler of history. So with all this interfacing and interwoven chores, we keep the people informed, enlightened, entertained, and educated.
What challenges do authors, in your own estimation, what challenges do authors in Nigeria face today?
If the economy is buoyant, writers will also be buoyant. The publishing industry will be buoyant. But since the economy took a nosedive in 1985, there has been a concomitant and concurrent nosediving in the welfare of writers too. And maybe because of the economic challenges, Nigerians don't have the pastime of reading. Reading for pleasure. That's what I mean. When you buy a book, you pick up a novel and read. And then the competition from TV, from television, online, Netflix, and all the rest too, has been a great challenge. So, but like the mantra and the saying that goes that when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. I'm glad that writers are, taking the bull by the horn, so to speak, and they are coping, with the thing. So that's why we see a lot of self-publishing happening these days to cover the challenges of raising funds. A time it was when publishers will get good scripts and publish and even pay honorarium to writers, but that's that's like in the days of yore. Presently now, people are doing self-publishing, and we see a lot of autobiographies coming up, autobiographies, biographies, and memoirs and everything. Our Jewel WS has done about 5 memoirs. So it's been challenging, but I'm glad that writers are rising up to the challenge and they are coming up with ingenious ways. And we have highly public spirited people. So when when we have a challenging situation, you come up with various innovative ways. So I want to commend Nigerian writers for being ingenious, for weathering the storm, and staying afloat in a depressing and depressed economy.
Now, you touched briefly on what has influenced your writing, and I think you said something about that is what you base your writing on, like the environment, scanning the environment, and all that. What influences your writing and the themes you explore?
Okay, there is a saying that the child is the man. My childhood, you know, has colored most of my writings. How do I mean? I lost my father when I was just 3 years old. So I didn't have the luxury of having a mentor father. So I was always observing my colleagues, and when their fathers are scolding them, and I was using that as a guide. I had a lot of freedom when I was young because of the nature of the job of my mom. My mom was a typist in a radio station. So they will come for her 5:30 a.m. They will come, the driver will come for her, When she's on morning shift, they open the station at 5. So like around 5, 4:35, the driver will come, pick her, then she'll just put the food. This is when you come back, Gary. This is if you warm this food. So that's early, I was exposed to, I had freedom. I was exposed to a lot of things. So what I saw then, it says that the child is the father of the man. So what I saw then informed some of the themes in my write-ups, in my short stories, in my proposed novel, and everything. So, but as also a journalist, you like I said, as a journalist, you're an activist. So once you see injustice, you want to come up to fight injustice. So you want to take up issues of injustice. Then, because I was raised by my mom, I tend to be pro women. I rise up to women generally. I knew some of the indignities that my mom suffered. So, and there's a form of protest, in my writings, in my poems, I write about that. I like to condemn that. And I also always am a pro woman, a pro she, writer. So I help, I subscribe to the philosophy of feminism. So I see women rights, I support them, and I'm always, when it comes to man versus woman, I always support the woman. So that informed my writings. And as a journalist too, I scan the environment. Yeah, my book on poetry, that will soon to be released, is also autobiographical. It chronicles some of the things that I passed through from secondary school to when I was growing up to now to when I had near-death experiences to my experience in the polity when I, hobnobbed with politicians, the experience I had, what I saw upscale. Now, as a political analyst, what I see in the society and my own thoughts on how we can improve the society and improve human life generally.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, you write fiction. So this question is very pertinent. How do you balance your personal experiences with fiction? Are your writings mostly autobiographical? That is, you infuse your experiences into your writing, or you just imagine things that have nothing to do with your personal life?
Well, even if you imagine, you know that you imagine things from what you have experienced. You know that we hear the mimetic theory of literature. Literature mirrors life. Even those who are saying, it's purely fiction, there's nothing like purely fiction because when you write, you are conditioned by things that you have seen in the past or the things that you have seen happening or things that you have heard, you know. That's when, a creative mind is always on the lookout for content. So while people are talking, maybe you take a public transport, you are in the bus. When people are talking that something happened, your creative mind will be picking things like that. You'll be forming characters. Even if you write drama, you see a conductor behaving in a funny way, you pick up the character. Those of you who were in the past when we were watching Why Worry, the Baba, Akin Lewis. You see some of the roles that he played. Some of the roles that he played, he picked some of these from area boys, picked some from conductors, picked some. So all this, life itself is the raw material for writers. Life is a rich repertoire of experiences, happenings, and everything. So what we do, like painters, in your writings, you paint the picture that you have seen. Then you present slices of life as it happens. That's what your readers get to see. So to really say that some people can create, you extrapolate, you link events, then you can extend, you can extend meanings, you can extend scenes. Maybe you experience it up to here, then your creative mind will now take it further. You take it further. This is the beauty of creative writing and the beauty of literature.
Wow, wonderful. It's exactly the way I do things myself. My experiences, things around me, but I try to apply a dose of fiction, stretch my imagination, I kind of extrapolate, okay, if this happens, what will it lead to, and
Okay.
all that,
Then
and then
scenario
draw a
planning. Then some
conclusion.
scenarios
Yes.
too. That what if then you can kill off.
What if?
We can kill off your protagonist, your
Yes,
hero. You
yes.
kill off. You see what happens. Then you
That's
create
good.
the thing.
That's good. Who are your greatest influences, whether international or Nigerian, among writers?
Like I said, in school, we were exposed to various literature. Uh, Kazuo Ishiguro, the Japanese writer and the author. Was so I thank God for the kind of teachers that we had. Teachers who were, you know, um, parents, who wanted to inculcate the rudiments of literature in us. So, and they exposed us to the whole gamut. So, each semester we had reading lists. Although we thought they were punishing us then, the reading list was very long, but it exposed us to a lot of literature, new literature, at least works that have been translated from Chinese, from Korea, from other areas. Then in Nigeria, naturally, Chinua Achebe, Wale Soyinka, then Ngugi wa Thiong'o, then F.Y. Sutherland, then Joyce of Mother Buchi Emecheta. Joyce of Motherhood resonated with me, because that was the kind of thing you see women, suffering to train up the children, and at the end, Obodo Yibo and all the rest, they travel abroad, they abandon their parents, So it's also a trope that is common in the world. It's not only Africa, it's not peculiar to Africa.
Do you write with a specific audience in mind? If yes, who?
Well, I like to simplify my writings, so that it will not be too stilted. When writing is too stilted and that people have to read your book or poem with a dictionary beside them, then you lose a lot of people. So you need to make it conversational. You make it simple. You need to make it dramatic. You need to make it pictorial. When you write in a descriptive, pictorial way, it resonates with people so that the very literate can understand. Then the barely literate can also empathize with your writings.
What challenges do authors, in your own estimation, what challenges do authors in Nigeria face today?
Well, finance, that's the general challenge. Finance. We have the skills, we have the manpower, we have the talent. Nigeria is blessed with the human resources. What we do is harnessing these resources. We have writers, we have name any field, we have gurus. But because of the challenges we are facing, the economic downturn, to harness this, even in schools, we have young writers and everything. But if you don't have deep pockets, nobody will publish you. There are many manuscripts that are just wasting away, waiting for somebody to help publish. So what I want to do is call on well-meaning Nigerians to support the arts. You support the arts. Let's have endowments. Let's pick up an art. We in sports we have adopt an athlete. In the society too, some of our well-meaning, some of our rich people can adopt a writer. Be the one that will help a writer to fulfill his lifetime ambition of getting published. So adopt a writer, support literary efforts, support writers to have a meaningful life.
As a member of the Association of Nigerian Authors, how important would you say the association is to the development of writers?
Well, Anna is important because if you have been a regular attendee at meetings, you see that the meetings, the business meetings of Association of Nigerian Authors that we hold on monthly basis has been adding great value because it's been an opportunity for us to cross-fertilize ideas. At times we come up with scenario planning, we raise issues, and we ask two eggheads to discuss on these issues. As they discuss, we tease out solutions to life's problems. We tease out solutions to practical things that writers are facing. Then we alert those who attend, you know, to possibilities. We alert them about fellowships, we alert them about residencies, we alert them about. So if you don't hobnob with writers, you are shortchanging yourself. Like it's often said that no man is an island. So I want to encourage people to join the Association of Nigerian Authors. Even if you are still aspiring, you can join and then be learning. If you are still writing your book, you can join and then be learning. Even asking people, you can be mentored. I like it when some secondary school students join us and they are coming for mentorship. So and they are learning, they are gaining, and because when you are being mentored, you learn a lot. It's often said that when you come for mentorship, all the books that your mentor has read, that's what he will be passing on to you. The knowledge that he has garnered in his research, in his works, that's what he will be passing on to you. So you work to the strength of your mentor. So I want to encourage people to, have good mentors. I want to encourage students to join Association of Nigerian Authors because that's the future. And we don't have too many students amongst us, because if the students are not there, that's the future. So they should come and join us in ANA to learn, the rudiments of writing, to be exposed, to get tips from established writers, and to learn what they can do, And these days, with the spoken poets and all the rest, so you learn new things, and now you can make money because you'll be surprised that many people are making money. It may be tough, it may be hard, but there's always that niche. If you can, get that niche. Stand-up comedians, MCing is something that we can also employ as a vocation that will put food on the table.
If you could change one thing about the Nigerian literary industry, what would it be?
Change anything. No, I believe the Nigerian Literary Organization is organic. It's not about changing anything. It's about joining. Joining to if the drift is not for instance now we are all operating in a challenged economy. So what is there to change? The thing is to come up with ingenious ways of surviving this hostility, this hostile environment that we have, these barren, austere times, So you need to be creative, you need to think. The thing about human beings is that there are opportunities. But it is often said that we are POOR, we are poor because we pass over opportunities repeatedly. There are opportunities, we should tap into that. We should tap into collaboration. Writers can collaborate, you know, can jointly author books, you know. So we should do much more of collaboration. Then we should talk to patrons. We should go to people. These rich men have the money, but some of them don't even know what to do. So sell ideas to them, go to them, sell ideas, and you can dedicate the book. This book is dedicated to the memory of XYZ, you know, and they give you money for something that you can do that. Then we can write, we can help high net worth individuals, celebrities to write their memoirs, their biographies. We ghostwrite it, and they pay us good money. So I want to encourage members, writers generally, to, you know, put on the thinking cap, to also using another cliche, think outside the box, so as to make ends meet.
Okay, that's good. Now we are coming back to your other thoughts, which is PR. PR. Now you are a PR guru.
By the grace of God.
How does your background in public relations shape your approach to writing and audience engagement?
Oh, fantastic. You know, any PR person will always be aware of his audience. One, you make sure that whatever you are saying or you are doing or you are writing resonate with the people. You don't just write in a vacuum. You know, there must be a target audience or target audiences or stakeholders that you are writing for. And what I do mostly as a journalist is that I try to solve a problem. You know, in my writings, I make sure, or articles and everything, I make sure I solve a problem or I raise an issue about a problem. You know, I raise, and if there is a warning, any warning system to warn people, hey, what we are doing here is not good. Let's correct this. Okay? So in our write-ups, we do that. Then the young ones, the Gen Zs, you know, most of what they do, we try to mentor them in our writings. We try to tell them that, hey, this route is not bad. The Bible says there is a way that seemeth right to a man, but the end thereof is evil. So we try to do that in our write-ups, in our way, in our various ways. So this writing is just a beautiful thing.
Now, this is a two-part question. Do you use storytelling techniques from literature to craft your PR campaigns? If you do, what storytelling techniques from literature do you use in crafting your PR campaigns?
Okay. So many storytelling, because public relations is also about storytelling. There's a convergence between public relations and literature. You know, so many techniques you can use. You know, you can use in media res, you can use flashback, you can use the chronological style. Okay, so these are things that, and then you know the tropes, the metaphor, you know, the wit, the pun. You know, these are things that come up with an irony, you know, oxymoron, you know, comparison. You know, because you know, when you compare, it sings. The script comes alive. You know, when you contrapunt, you know, writing is good. Good is right there. Good thing is about writing. When you contrapunt, when you change things like that, it sings. When you come up with golden quotes, you know, when you are writing, you look for zingers, aphorisms, and everything, things that will make the speech or talk memorable. These are public relation skills, you know. And then you have a target audience. You keep the audience in mind when you are couching your either your press releases or your features or your campaigns.
We have just come to that point now. As a PR guru, do you believe authors today need to become their own PR agents? Why or why not?
Well, if you want to have converts, you need to first believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will follow you. Okay, that is a sense of self-assurance that comes with believing in yourself. You know, if you want to have a convert, right, and you are not convincing, nobody will follow you. Today's generation, we are wise. but very wise. Maybe in the past you could have hoodwinked one or two people. Adverts didn't come with civilization. Our native people have been advertising this season like this when we have corn. I remember those days. Language, àgbàdo orí ebè, oko ọkọ mi ló ti wá, olóko ògbówó, dandawi, we, dandawi. And that's it. Then the one that we learned about matchboxes in those days in the 50s. This was taught us in class, stylistic class by Professor Niyi Oshudari. Ìṣáná rèé kọ́bọ̀ kan àbọ̀, àgbà tí ò lówó méjì kó rà kan, abiyamọ má fòkùnkùn wọlé. Those times, they were selling matches. So our people, have ways of communicating before other foreign languages come. Public relations is life, So you'll be sensitive to your stakeholders. You'll be sensitive to the readers, and you want to couch your messages or your art or your whatever message you are passing in languages that will resonate with them. There's no point in passing messages to people who will not understand you. You're just talking to yourself.
That's wonderful. How can Nigerian authors better position themselves in the global literary market?
Well, it's easy now. We have the information superhighway. Nigerian authors should be prominent on the information superhighway. We should use all the tools, AI, chatbox, ChatGPT, all the rest. We are on the internet. Even these days, you can just write a short story and post it on Facebook. It will gain traction, and people will love to read it. And then you can use suspense. I've seen that a lot being used these days. They just start, like I said, they start in media res and they use flashback to tell the stories. Then they leave you hanging. You'll be looking for I would like to see the conclusion of this thing. I'd like to see how this thing panned out. But it will not be there. And just to suspense. So to keep you in suspense so that next time you will. So these are tricks that Nigerian writers should use. When they go and get stuff, like I said, the top should get going. They should be creative. They should read. One thing is that some people think that the more you read, the more you are sensitized. Reading galvanizes your thoughts. It galvanizes your emotions. So, and then you learn. You learn. There's nothing wrong in copying at times. They say fake it till you make it. So you learn, you copy good things, and then by the time you become an authority, you can break the laws. That's the thing. You use authorial when your name becomes when you have name recognition. When you become an authority, you can deliberately break the rules, and then people will say, it's also style, it's also creative. So let's up the ante by reading regularly.
Can you share a moment where your literary skills helped you solve a PR crisis or campaign challenge?
Oh, several. I used to work for an organization that had a policy called zero tolerance for negative reports. See, how can you have a brand that will not have negative reports? But one of our key performance indicators, our KPIs then, was that zero tolerance for negative reports. So, how do you do this? Okay, one, you must be on your toes, and you must have good rapport. So what I did was to befriend some of the journalists. They became my friends. I used to go to their offices to talk to them. So because of this close rapport, this close relationship that we have, if any negative report comes, okay, I'll be the first person they will tell. So that I'll carve a response to the issue. Or I will ask that the issue be dropped. So that's rapport, which public relations teaches, that you must have rapport with the stakeholders. And you must have one-on-one with them. It's not about money, It's It's not about money. Really, it's what some people will use millions to get, I use relationship to get for free. So many times it has happened in the course of my professional life.
What book are you currently reading and why did you pick it?
Well, I'm struggling to finish You Must Set Forth at Dawn, Wole Soyinka's biography. I picked this book. I got it from the chairman of ANA, Dr. Chris Omotosho, because the book chronicled what happened during Nadeco, you know, Nadeco, and the transition where Abubakar was trying to, you know, come up with this third republic. I want to enjoin people to read it, you know, because it shows, it captures how all those things behind the scenes things, how they were lobbying Professor Wole Soyinka to even become president of Nigeria, how they were lobbying him and the things they were doing, you know, in Nadeko. How Professor Wole Soyinka saw Abacha's daughter in London, you know. I think she came to watch Wimbledon, and Professor Soyinka was also in London to watch Wimbledon. So it's a good book. I'm currently reading that. Okay, I'm currently reading some motivational books too. I'm currently reading on leadership. I'm also researching into good governance. You know, so I'm reading Babawolo's autobiography too, My March Through Prisons, and there's a book also written on Babawolo. You know, when he died, after he died, there's a book on Awo with forward written by Professor Wole Soyinka, and the poem written on Awo by Professor Niyo Shudari. You know, where he described Awo as the question, as the answer to the question that is not asked. And you know, so he had very significant way of describing him. So I read. I'm reading that, and I also read the Bible. You know, the Bible is a trove. You know, it's a collector's item. It's a trove of knowledge. You know, and if you allow the Word of God to guide you, you know, the psalmist says that the Word of God illuminates our paths. It's not only our paths; it illuminates our thoughts and it guides us. You know, you have benchmarks. You know, you, you have limits that you cannot go beyond. So, generally, I would say that it's been interesting.
Uh, Please describe your writing space. Messy genius or organized creativity?
Well, my writing space, my reading space. Well, beside my bed, I have books. So that when I wake up, I have the Bible, I have books like 10 books. So I wake up, I can pick one, I just read a chapter. I drop, read another chapter. Then when I go to the toilet to urinate, I come back, pick another, I read the chapter. So I read. I'm an omnivorous reader. I read various things, and so but when I type, writing these days, we don't often write in long hands again. So I have where my computer is, so I go there. Then we have books, references, dictionaries, everything, so that it's just handy. And you know, they give me that space in the house. They know where I put. Then I have a stack of magazines, stack. So you may call that messy, but to me, there is organization in the mess. So that's the thing. And you know, as writers generally, we like to be non-conformists. We like to do our things. We like to be in our space. We like to do what suits us. So writers generally are humanists, and we like our freedom. We don't like anybody to come into our space to come up with scriptures that you don't do this, you don't leave this on the table. We like to just be ourselves.
If your latest book were to be adapted into a film, who would you cast as the lead character?
Well, I've not really given it thought because I was thinking that I will also take up acting. You know, some of the works that I think I could act as a lead character because so as to internalize what I've seen. You know, I would be the best position to interpret that for the viewers. So I could also pick up acting. It's not something that is not impossible.
What legacy do you hope to leave behind as a Nigerian author?
I like to tell posterity that it's possible to be a good person. It's possible to do good at all times. In your own little corner, just do what you can do. Rule your world. It doesn't mean if you are out there in the space that you are ruling your world. In your own little corner, in your own space, help people. You know, there's something peculiar that I found about fruits generally. And that which I think I want to commend to human beings generally. Fruits, when they produce fruits, it's not for themselves. Mango will come up with over 100 fruits, and people will come and pluck and do all those things. So that's how we should be. There's commonality. Is one humanity, you know, and you can only do X. You can't do everything. So in your own little corner, rule your world. Uh, I don't need anybody's validation to do what I do. I don't crave people's validation. In my own corner, I do what I do, happily. You know, I help who I can help. And if I can't help, I can come up with words. It's not only in monetary terms that you help. You can help in cash, you can help in kind, you can help by caring. So what I think that we should do more is we should be our brother's keepers. We should help humanity more. And that's the lesson I would like to be remembered for. As somebody who came and helped a lot of people.
You have mentioned the phrase rule your world a couple of times. I know you once worked at Globalcom, and Globalcom has a slogan. Did you originate it? Did you coin that for them or
No, no,
how?
no, no. It was something, okay, that's a trade secret that I would not like to discuss here. But I'll tell you behind.
Finally, what advice would you give to young emerging Nigerian writers considering the situation on ground?
Well, that's what I've been saying all the while. Show interest, read. For you to get better, first read. Before you start writing, read, read, read. Just read all sorts of things. Read a lot. Make sure you broaden your horizon. When you read, your mind becomes expanded. Then you accommodate so many views, all shades of opinion. So by the time you read and you start, you know more. The mantra that Papa Obafemi Awolowo gave journalists is that we should know a little bit about everything and everything about the little bit that you know. That way, you'll be a searcher for knowledge. You'll be a searcher for excellence. Then you don't do things wishy-washy. Okay, then it's a craft. Writing is a craft. So you learn it, read books, write. You know, the best training is practice makes perfect. Right. Don't be too afraid of committing blunders. Some people can't write because I don't want to be, I want to get it, I want to be a perfect. Just write, be yourself. Relax, be yourself, write. It's a process. Life itself is a process. You don't get, it's incremental increase. You don't know, but slowly and gradually you are picking up some things, you are becoming better. And I like to advise people that you must try to be the best version of yourself every day. The Dare Folarin of yesterday, Dare Folarin of today should be better than Dare Folarin of yesterday. And Dare Folarin of tomorrow will be better than Dare Folarin of today. Because I daily do review. I review my activities, I review the way I've done. So as I see, I'm not perfect, but I aspire towards perfection and excellence.
Thank you for joining us on this literary journey. If you were inspired by today's conversation, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow book lovers, and subscribe to the channel for more authentic African voices. Got questions or a favorite quote from our guest? Drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep reading, keep writing, and keep telling your story. Bye.